How to repel a narcissist? Hello. I want to thank all of my subscribers for your faithful love and support. And if you are a first-time visitor, welcome. Please consider subscribing to this channel. If these videos resonate with you, go ahead and add your presence to this community and hit that notification button so you can stay on top and get it while it's fresh. If you're like me, I like my fish fresh out of the fryer. So get it while it's hot, and be sure to leave a comment down in the comment section. Talk to me, I talk back. I'm Coach Gwen, your GPS, getting you positioned for success in life. In this video, we're talking about how to repel a narcissist. Let's get right into it without delay. Well, first off, the narcissists need people to be in a very vulnerable state. Make no mistake about it. And they tend to take advantage of individuals who are in a weakened and vulnerable state. That's why it's best to become a whole individual before entering into a new relationship. It's sort of like the old adage back in the day where you would hear people say, never date anyone that you work with. Well, it's sort of the same thing. Allow yourself time to heal before you just go jump into another relationship. Take a breather. Take a break. Why? Because with so much going on nowadays, people are more broken now than ever before because there is so much brokenness to be healed from. And guess what? Narcissists are broken people with a very troubled past. And because they are so broken, they look for someone else who is broken. They look for someone who's wounded. So this person won't be able to notice their broken pain from such a troubled past. They prefer someone who has so much going on outside of the relationship that will consume enough of their time so that they are too busy to notice what's going on, really what's going on within the confines of the relationship. Because if you are healed or a more whole person, an individual, you'd be less susceptible to their superficial charm, right? Making you more able to repel their narcissism. You see, the typical narcissists play by the classic rule book if they're really a narcissist. Their script is usually a repeated cycle of love bombing, idealization, triangulation, devaluation, discard, or disengagement and hoovering, right? And then repeat again. This narcissist will follow this pattern pretty much to a T, and they can be very predictable. And once you're able to identify this pattern and know what cycle you're on, it will repeat itself over and over again during the duration of the relationship until you decide to get off the rinse cycle. Excuse me. So, while on repeat during this wash phase, note that the first phase of the cycle is love bombing. And the second time around, after completing the first full cycle, that second phase of love bombing, it won't be nearly as intensifying as the first time, because they're going to lack the tenacity to sustain that high level of energy that they originally had. Why? Because they're energy vampires and you were their source of supply, and because they sucked that out of you already, you're going to lack that same source of energy to give them. So now that level of intensity that was originally there during the initial love bombing phase is going to be significantly diminished because your level of being fresh supply has been diminished. So, during the second cycle, the idealization becomes now the first phase instead, because the initial first phase was cut short due to the shortage of supply. So now during the second cycle, this is where more of the future faking will kick in. Selling you on ideas and making promises to you that you know and they know that they will never live up to. You see, a healthy person is more readily available to put up those boundaries that a narcissist will have a really hard time with penetrating, if they can even penetrate it at all. because the fact that that they are lazy predators, as we spoke about in Proverbs chapter 6, when referring to them as a sluggard and being compared to the ant who works hard in the winter to gather her harvest in the summer. That video is The Narcissist Wants Your Inheritance. Check that out. While the narcissist is doing everything, they want their prey to do that. You know, they want their prey on their terms. They don't want that prey that's fighting. They want the little lamb to walk right into the mouth of the lion. They don't want to have to spend any extra energy that is absolutely necessary on doing anything towards their future, separate from anyone. They usually always need a skirt tail or a shirt tail or to hitch a ride from on the come up, if at all possible. You know, that's how they do. They'll skate on by doing the bare minimum, all in the name for a quick come up and an upgrade to jumpstart or level up where they know they ought to be in life in comparison to their peer. However, this route lets them know that their victim is compliant and willing to be used, because love bombing, after all, it takes a lot of energy. It's a very demanding sport to keep calling back to back. And a narcissist is not going to waste all that time on someone who won't fall for their schemes and schisms, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, they're not going to keep doing that. That would be too much work to invest in if it's not going to pan out. So, to repel a narcissist must be conscientious, deliberate, and very mindful to be successfully embarked upon in order for the healing journey to take place and heal from a previous relationship before resuming another one again. Do a class, take a vacation, get a pet, do yoga, take a year alone before you re-enter, a hobby, a sport, a guitar lesson, something. Develop healthy relationships to reestablish the feeling of what healthy boundaries actually are. This will equip you, and it will remind you that healthy boundaries really do still exist. And it will allow you to be able to observe more quickly when something is off. And at the first time they breach that boundary, boom, speak up. Narcissists will detest this again and again. They want a compliant victim who is willing to be used and abused. So keep educating yourself and heed the information that you glean so that you can be more easily and readily to spot the red flags that's presented. My hope is that by sharing this information with this community together, we can at the very least slow others from becoming the next narcissistic victim. So until next time, Coach Gwen here, and I want you to be immensely blessed, but most of all, be restored and be made whole. I love you. I am praying for you and with you. And until next time, may God bless you and help you to establish some healthy boundaries and be made whole.